Hi team, I hope you're all well. Today we are going to be starting a new reading vlog, as you've been able to tell from the thumbnail and the title of this video, whatever the title of this video is going to be. I am going to be using a spinner wheel this week to decide how long I'm going to read for. So I'm very excited and I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. I am only going to be doing 1 to 6 hours because it's a pretty busy week, and for 2 days of the week I do work for my dad, so I wouldn't be able to fit anything more than about 6 hours in on a day like that. To be honest, I would probably struggle with 6, so to bump it up to 8 is just too much chaos for my liking. So that is what we're going to do this week. I'm really excited. I'm very much so looking forward to it. Before we get into the actual video though and spinning our first spin for this video, I would like to thank the sponsor of today's video, who are Serious Readers. You have probably heard me yapping on about this light multiple times now. I am absolutely obsessed with it. I love it so much. I've had it for, it might have been a year now, maybe not quite a year, but maybe like 8 or 9 months, and I'm obsessed. I absolutely love it. It's brilliant, it's perfect. You can dim it, brighten it, as I'm showing here. You can also change the scope. You won't be able to see this. I don't think it will make any difference. Oh, you might be able to see it on my t-shirt actually. So it's a wider scope. It's covering more ground, and that is narrowing in on whatever it is that maybe you are doing, whether that be reading or a hobby or whatever. It is perfect for things like that. And it's also perfect for those of us that struggle with eye strain or migraines or headaches, like I do, like myself. It does have daylight wavelength technology, which does mean that it replicates the daylight as closely as technically possible. The range consists of 3 different lights. We do have the high definition light, there is the Alex light, and there is also the classic light, and these are the only 3 lights that do contain the daylight wavelength technology. So you can get this in a standing lamp like I have here over my reading chair. You can get it in a desk lamp. They do have different options, they do have different color schemes, etc., and they're absolutely incredible. I cannot recommend it enough. I use it all of the time. So if you would like to get £150 off your own light and free UK shipping, you can use my code Steph, which I will leave in the description box down below, along with a link to Serious Readers. Please do go and check them out. I cannot implore you enough to do so. They are incredible and I absolutely love this. I kind of want to get one for every single room. I really do, because I just love it. It's fantastic. On occasion, I haul it into my bedroom as well, because I just want to read in bed instead of in my reading chair. But I really do love it. So again, Steph for £150 off and free UK shipping. Check them out in the description box down below, and thank you again to Serious Readers for sponsoring this video. So without further ado, let's get into the rest of the video, shall we? Very quickly, some of the books that I do still have left on my TBR that I want to finish before the end of the month. We've got The Door-to-Door Bookstore by Karsten Henn for my translated fiction book, and also for Buzzwordathon, the word 2 or 2 in the title. So there's that one. I've got When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy, which I do need to read this week regardless of anything else. I am on the live show for this on Saturday with Gabby and Gavin for the book troupe, so I do need to read this one. I have May Fly by CJ Lead, which I would like to read. The prompt for Buzzwordathon, the cover challenge, is eyes, and this one has an eye on the cover, so that would be great for that. It's not too long and it's a recent purchase. And then for non-fiction, I do have Normally Weird and Weirdly Normal, My Adventures in Neurodiversity by Robin Ince, which is a neurodiverse book I would like to read. I may swap this out though. I might start it, but I feel like this could be maybe a heavy read. I don't know. I'm going to give it a start and I will let you know my thoughts on it, but it could be a bit more of a heavier read, so I may swap it out for a smaller non-fiction this week. We'll see, just to tick off that non-fiction prompt for the month. But yeah, those are the 4 that I've got my eye on this week. I may pick up other stuff as well, we will see, but I will let you know as the week goes on. I think I will start the week off though with When the Wolf Comes Home. I've obviously got to try and get through this sooner rather than later, so I'm not leaving it right to the last minute on Saturday. So I do have a spinner wheel on my phone, and I have put the numbers in a random order, 1 to 6 in a random order, and I've done it twice just to mix things up a little bit so that it's not a certain, like a given what's going to come up. So let me start a screen recording. How in the frick do I do that now? My phone's updating and now I can't find anything. There we go, screen recorder. Don't record the sound. Okay, start recording. All right, so let's click to spin to find out what we're going to be reading on day 1, which is actually tomorrow. Yep. 6 hours. That kind of works out well, to be honest, because 6 hours is fine for tomorrow. It's a Monday, which means that I am home working for myself, and I have gotten all of my editing done for the week tomorrow. So today is Sunday. I'm filming this clip now, so I know exactly what I'm going to be, how long I'm going to be reading for. So 6 hours to start the week off, and I will probably start with When the Wolf Comes Home, which I may pick an audiobook up as well. Maybe I will try and get through Mayfly or the Door-to-Door Bookstore to get those ticked off. I will let you know, but I am going to start off with this because this will be a physical read. It is a horror, and we're following Jess, who is a struggling actress, and on her way home one night she finds a 5-year-old boy hiding in a bush cowering. Now he's hiding from his dad. She sees a violent altercation between the two, decides that she's going to essentially kidnap the 5-year-old boy to keep him safe from his father and run away with him. And as they attempt to evade the boy's increasingly desperate father, horrifying incidents of butchery follow them. At first, Jess thinks she understands what they're up against, but she's about to learn there's more to these surreal and grisly events than she could ever imagine, and that when the wolf finally comes home, none will be spared. Other than the beginning of the synopsis, which is the bit I told you about, I know nothing about what's going on in here, but I have heard some good things, so I'm very excited. I'm also intrigued because the first page starts off with this. I'm really looking forward to it. It's my first Nat Cassidy. I do have Mary on my shelves, so I am excited about this one. So I will let you know how tomorrow goes with 6 hours of reading, and I will keep you posted. I can read outside of that as well. I will just, you know, maybe not necessarily log it, so I may be reading other stuff in the background, we'll see. But 6 hours tomorrow, let's go. Okay, hello, good morning. It is 11:30 and I didn't update you first thing this morning. I just got straight into reading. I didn't get up with Andy like I usually do at 5:30. I'd had a terrible night's sleep, so I stayed in bed till about, I think it was till about 7:15, and then I got up. So I managed to get an hour or so into reading before I did sprints. Actually, it was maybe a little bit longer than that, but I am currently 3 hours into today's 6 hours. So I'm halfway through today's reading and I have just finished a book. So I ended up reading The Door-to-Door Bookstore by Kirsten Henn. I haven't told you what this is about. I just went into it and I haven't mentioned anything at all. So I'm going to tell you what it's about now and then tell you my thoughts on it. It's following this older man called Carl. 72 years old, but he's young at heart, and he works for this bookstore that a friend of his owns, but his daughter is now taking over because he's quite old, and his daughter is now taking over, and Carl delivers books to people's houses, essentially. For those that don't want to go to the bookstore, he delivers books to those people, and he knows their book tastes, their reading tastes very, very well. Now these people, they've all got different things going on, and one day, this young girl called Sasha, I think it was Shasha or something, she ends up coming along and she wants to join him. Now, he tries to put her off, but eventually he just ends up putting up with her, and she ends up joining him for a few, for a while. And then something happens, and this was so sweet. It was so lovely. It's translated fiction. It was originally written in German, and it was just so adorable. It is the perfect story for a reader, I think. Perfect translated story for a reader. But his job at the bookstore is threatened, and will the old man and the girl in the yellow raincoat be able to restore Carl's way of life and return the joy of reading to his little European town? It's just a really, really sweet story about these two people individually, but also together. Carl is just the sweetest being, and he absolutely loves his job, so he's devastated when it is threatened. And she's just really, really adorable, and she's not happy with the way that Carl's being treated, so she does something about it. They learn so much from each other, not just her from Carl, but also him from her, and it's just a really sweet story. It was a very quick read. The audiobook is on BookBeat, and it was a very quick book to get through, and it was just really, really cute. I loved the writing. The translation, I think, was done very, very well. It came across really, really well. And it was just a stunning little book. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. It was so sweet. Thank you to Victoria for putting this in my Patreon pot. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this one. This is definitely one of my favourite translated fictions that I've read. And also, in the back of this, the last few pages are the first couple of chapters of Days at the Morisaki Bookshop, which is one of the other translated fiction books that I have really enjoyed. So these clearly go very hand in hand. So if you've enjoyed Days at the Morisaki Bookshop, I would recommend this one, and vice versa. So 4 stars for this one. I then... last night, because yesterday I did come to tell you that I was going to start When the Wolf Comes Home, and this would be the first book that I go into. Clearly I was lying, and there's a reason for that. I actually started this last night, so I got 74 pages into this last night. I just wanted to get a head start because I knew I was going to have to physically read this. There's no audiobook for it until for the next couple of months, and obviously I am committed to reading this by Saturday because that is when the live show is, so I wanted to get a head start. However, as it turns out, this is such an easy read. It's so fast paced, it's very, very quick to get through, and it didn't take me long to get through those 74 pages at all. I'm having such a good time. We have had the situation, this actually went in a direction, not that I wasn't anticipating, but it went in a bit more of a different direction than I was anticipating. So we're following Jess, who's a struggling actress. She actually works part-time in like a 24-hour cafe, and the night that she's having is absolutely hellish. From something that happens at work, she then leaves work a little bit earlier. When she gets home, she actually finds the little boy in the bush outside her flat, in which she then also comes across his dad, and shit hits the fan significantly, a lot more than I was anticipating, and she's now on the lam with this little boy, which is hilarious because the wolf and the lamb. And I'm loving this. I'm loving the writing style. I am loving just the situation this girl has got herself into. She is having the day from hell, the absolute day from hell. She's supposed to have an audition. She was on her shift till like stupid o'clock in the morning, and so she's absolutely knackered. The poor girl is absolutely knackered, and she's just having an absolute nightmare. It's literally one thing after another, and now she's on the lam with this little boy whose name she doesn't even know, trying to run away from this monster. And this monster has kind of like, I just don't know how to explain it. I'm a little bit confused about what this monster is because the descriptions of it are insane and it is terrifying. I got the heebie-jeebies a little bit last night. I am annotating this, like making annotations throughout the book and underlining and stuff and making notes, because obviously I need to discuss this on Saturday with Gabby and Gavin. But I am loving this so far. It's super fast paced and so much has happened already. I just don't know what's going to happen for the next like 350 pages. But I'm really, really enjoying this. So my aim for the rest of the 3 hours of the day, well, 2 hours and 58 minutes if you want to be picky about it, is to try and get through as much of this as I possibly can. If I do find that I'm struggling a little bit because I am tired, I will pick up another audiobook maybe, or even a graphic novel or manga. But yeah, my aim for the rest of the day is just to try and get through as much of this as I possibly can. So having a very good time with this so far. I'm really, really enjoying it. And with the ease that Nat Cassidy writes as well, it makes me even more excited to pick up Mary, because that's one of Nat Cassidy's books I've had on my shelf for a while now. So yeah, it's just so easy to read, so easy to read. So having a very good time, and I do think that this is going to give me the heebie-jeebies a little bit, give me the willies, and, you know, scare the shit out of me, which is fantastic. It's exactly what I want. Very much so in the mood for horror today. I've been in the mood for horror for a couple of weeks, I think, but I'm very much so in the mood for this today. So I'm really excited to get back to it. So on that basis, that is exactly what I'm going to do. So let's go. Okay, hello. It is currently 4:10 and I have done my 6 hours for the day. So it's been quite a productive day. I have managed to finish the door-to-door bookstore, start and finish the door-to-door bookstore actually, which is great news, and I did enjoy that one. Then I also read more of When the Wolf Comes Home. I did get to page 191, chapter 25. I'm really enjoying this so far. It is taking me longer than it normally would to get through this book. A, I'm physically reading it, and B, I am annotating it as well, because obviously I'm having the discussion on Saturday with Gabby and Gav. Really enjoying this. It's gone in a completely different direction than I was absolutely anticipating, and it is entirely insane, but I'm having a very good time. So yeah, really enjoying this, hoping that maybe I can finish this tomorrow. It all depends on how many hours I get for tomorrow. And then you may have noticed another little book that it's not so little, book that I decided to pick up. Once I'd finished the door-to-door bookstore, I did a sprint on When the Wolf Comes Home, but then I wanted to go make some lunch, and I didn't want to waste any time with trying to get my hours done for the day. So I needed to start a new audiobook, and I actually started physically reading this the other day. I only got through the prologue, but I ended up going back and starting again, and I'm doing the audiobook for Haunting Adeline. I've also got it on my Kindle. So Haunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton. Now, I always said I was never going to pick this series up, the cat and mouse duet, because stalking is a huge trigger for me. But I had a conversation with Zoe about this when she came last week, and she talked me through, not exactly what happens in the book, but she did talk me through how the stalking kind of works, because I let her know the reason why stalking is a trigger. So she talked me through it, and it's giving kind of like Lights Out, but without the comedy. So maybe, I could be entirely wrong, but essentially one of a couple of reasons why Lights Out by Nevessa Allen didn't bother me as much was because that we got the stalker's POV. So he was an actual active character whose head we were in. And I understood his thought process with everything. So I didn't feel unsafe or uncomfortable at any point. And the second chapter of this is from his POV. So we get the prologue, the first chapter, and then we get the second chapter, which is from his POV. I'm assuming he's the stalker, and I'm going to continue to tell myself he's the stalker, because right now I'm not feeling unsafe or uncomfortable or triggered. I'm okay. So yeah, the synopsis of this book, because I don't actually know it. Also, I do apologise if you can hear the traffic outside. I'm hoping you can't, because I've got my mic on, but my apologies if you can in any way, shape or form. So the synopsis for this one is: I've chased you across time and space, and you've never been able to get away. For Adeline Riley, moving back to Seattle was supposed to be the perfect fresh start. With her flourishing career as an author and the inheritance of her late grandmother's Gothic mansion, there is nothing to stand in her way. But Adeline isn't alone in Parsons Manor. It isn't the angry souls haunting the hallways of her childhood home that Adeline fears. It's the mysterious break-ins, roses appearing, and threatening messages that somehow sound more like eerie promises. Adeline has a stalker, yet Yet she quickly discovers she's not the first person in her family to fall victim to a shadow in pursuit. Left behind are her great-grandmother's haunting journals detailing the story of her own phantom and subsequently her brutal murder. Parsons Manor now holds more than just Adeline's memories. It houses a grim future that could lead to history repeating itself if she doesn't fall in love with her stalker first. So far it's going okay, it's going fine. If at any point I start to feel uncomfortable, I will put this down. But I just need an audiobook. So I'm on page 55, chapter 5 so far. This does say that recommended reading order for the Cat and Mouse universe is Satan's Affair, Haunting Adeline, Hunting Adeline, and Where's Molly? So if I'm okay with this and I get to the end of it, I might go back and do Satan's Affair before I pick up Hunting Adeline. But yeah, I'm liking the letters. I'm enjoying that side of things. It's very interesting getting those letters and kind of seeing the parallels between her great-grandmother and what's currently going on with Adeline. And I'm really enjoying the atmosphere of this story as well. It is very gothic and very haunting. The house that she's inherited is, like I say, very gothic, and it's very atmospheric, and I'm really enjoying that. I think that's what I need, like dark romance. I'm in the mood for like horror and thrillers this week, but I can't read multiple horrors and thrillers at the same time. So my next option is a dark romance, a very dark romance. So yeah, I feel like that's an interesting combo, When the Wolf Comes Home and Haunting Adeline. But you didn't expect me to be picking up Haunting Adeline. Anyway, it is the end of today's hours, so we need to get ready to spin again for tomorrow's hours so that I know what I'm going to be reading tomorrow. I'm kind of hoping that we get another big one tomorrow because I'm working from home again. So if we could get big one tomorrow and then a smaller one on Wednesday.
That's what she said.
Because I should be at work on Wednesday. I think I'm going to work anyway. I need to double check and see what my brother's up to because it's half term this week for the kids. So his kid may be off. He might not be working. So it might be a work from home day or potentially take the day off work. We'll see. But let's get ready to spin for tomorrow's hours and see what we're going to get. Ooh, okay. So only 2 hours tomorrow. Fair enough. That's fair enough. Okay, so we'll just be reading for 2 hours tomorrow for this video. I probably on that basis won't get When the Wolf Comes Home finished, but hopefully some more progress will be made because I have only read this for maybe 2 hours 10 minutes today because I obviously did 3 hours on the door-to-door bookstore. I probably did about 2 hours 10 minutes, maybe about 2 hours 20 minutes on this, and then about 40 minutes on Haunting Adeline. So yeah, hopefully maybe tomorrow I can make some more good progress on this. Maybe get, I've managed like 115 pages. So is that right? About 116 pages. So maybe I can manage a similar amount tomorrow and get to like around the 300 page mark. We will have to see what happens with that. So yeah, this is going to take me a little bit longer than I hoped to get through, but that's okay. So long as it's done by Saturday, that's all that matters. And then I will just pick this up when I've got some pottering about and anything else that I need to do audiobook wise. So yeah. I will see you tomorrow to do just 2 hours of reading. Okay, hello. It is Tuesday and I have completed my 2 hours for the day. During that 2 hours, I did manage to read 95 pages of When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. I'm now on page 286. I have approximately 140, 150 pages left of this. So I'm hopeful that maybe I can finish this tomorrow. We'll see. It does depend on the hours that I get tomorrow. I will be at work tomorrow for my dad. So if we get the 6 hours tomorrow, which is the max, then I will have I'll have my work cut out for me, that's for damn sure. But yeah, I'm still really enjoying this, having a very good time. It's got some very good discussions going on in it, and it's terrifying, absolutely terrifying, incredibly gory, very detailed, but it's absolutely terrifying, and it's absolutely gone in a direction that I just didn't anticipate at all. So having a very good time with this one, and I'm hoping that the next time I mention this, it's because I've finished it, fingers crossed. But yeah, I haven't actually finished anything today. I did debate after an hour and like 10 minutes on this. I did debate whether or not to try and just fit a short non-fiction in or something, but I would have been doing it just for the sake of finishing a book, and I want to continue on with this. I'm having such a good time with it. I actually just want to continue on with it for the rest of the day and get it finished. But I've done my hours for the day, so I'll come back to it tomorrow. Cannot believe I got 2 hours today. So we do need to spin for a third time for tomorrow. Where is my spinner wheel? There we go. Okay, so I need to, let's film, screen record. Okay, so let's do the spinner wheel and find out what we're going to be reading for Wednesday's hours, how long we're going to be reading for Wednesday's hours. Two hours, again. Okay, 2 hours for Wednesday. We will do 2 hours. Right, that's not too bad. I am at work tomorrow, but I'm not out the whole day. I usually get up with Andy, or if I don't get up with him, I get up like an hour or two later. So that's either like 5:30 or 7 o'clock. So I could do maybe an hour or so in the morning, and then when I get home, I tend to leave around 4-ish from my brother's and get home about 4:30, 4:45. He's not home then till like 7:30, 8 o'clock. So I don't know, maybe I can catch up with some YouTube or something. But yeah, so that's it. That's me done for the day. I've got to go and find something else to do with myself for the rest of the day. So I will check back in with you tomorrow. I will be continuing on with When the Wolf Comes Home. This could become, I like the idea of like timed hours, like how long I'm reading for each day. I like the idea of that, but I do find that it's kind of dragged on a little bit because I'm in one book for that period of time. Like I really want to go back to Haunting Adeline, but I've got to get this book finished for the live show on Saturday, so I need to prioritize it. So, you know, like today, for example, if I wasn't doing this challenge, I would finish this and then I would get back into Haunting Adeline, and then probably maybe finish that as well today. But alas, it is what it is. So I'm going to go find something else to do with myself for the day. Hello, it is currently 5:15 on Wednesday and I have not yet started my 2 hours for the day, so I need to get on it. I'm actually gonna just continue on with Haunting Adeline today. I was a little bit gutted that I couldn't get any of this in yesterday, and I'm actually so tired. It's been quite a long work day and I'm really tired. So I'm gonna just do this one because I have the audiobook for it rather than do anything with When the Wolf Comes Home today. I am concerned that if I try and physically read anything right now, I'm just gonna nod off. So I will continue on with Haunting Adeline for the 2 hours. I'm currently on page 55, 9% in, so hoping to make some decent progress in that today. So I will continue on with that, but I do just have a couple of pieces of mail from Waterstone, so I thought we could open them together. I'm fairly certain I know what these are and I'm very excited. Ah! It is a release in 10 by Chloe Walsh. Ew, what is that? That is gross. I might have to try and get myself to the bookstore and see if I can swap that out. Can you see that? That's gross. Anyway, it's really... Why is the text so small? What the fuck is that? I can't remember, it's been a while since I read Binding and Keeping 13, but is the text that small in that book? Holy shit. Anywho, excited about reading this one. In fact, I'm nowhere near reading this one. I've got to read Saving 6, Redeeming 6 and Taming 7 first. But yeah, I got that. And then I also got Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. Look how cute this is. I haven't read Not in Love yet. This is the sequel to that, apparently. So I am looking forward to reading both of those. Albeit, I have heard mixed things about Not in Love, so that will be interesting. But yeah, I'm excited. Very pretty. I'm definitely going to try and swap that out though, because that is really, I don't know what that is, but it's gross. Try and get that swapped out. But yeah, 2 very exciting deliveries today. So I am going to get on with Haunting Adeline. Do we spin now for tomorrow's hours? I don't know if there'll be any need. I'm not going to get anything finished, so I don't think there's any need for me to necessarily come back and give you an update on this. Albeit maybe I could do, but just in case I don't, it might be nice to do another spin now, just so I know for tomorrow's hours. I'm going to be at home tomorrow, so I wouldn't hate getting a reasonable amount of hours maybe. Where's my spinner? Here we go. Here's an idea for next time as well. I put the numbers in 3 times and I take them out every time they come up. Because 2 has come up twice now and I am concerned it could come up a third time. Okay, let's find out what I'm going to read tomorrow. Oh, I thought that was going to be 2 hours again then. 6. Okay. It would appear that we have our favourites this week. 6 and 2. Okay, I have the whole day at home. I could do with filming a video, but that's okay. I can fit 6 hours in and film that video and potentially get it edited as well because it's a sponsorship, so I do need to send it to the sponsor. But yeah, that's fine. I can make that work. 6 hours tomorrow. That's all right. I could probably get When the Wolf Comes Home finished tomorrow, and I don't know how long this will take, but maybe Haunting Adeline as well. I need to do 2 hours today, so 6 hours and 10, so I could get that down to like 4 hours and 10 today. I could potentially, oh no, I won't get that finished and When the Wolf Comes Home. I will prioritise When the Wolf Comes Home tomorrow though, but I'll get close to finishing that maybe. My mum, I completely forgot that we were going to do like an impromptu buddy read. And she started the book. So I need to kind of get on with that at some point as well. Maybe not in this video. But yeah, might be in another video maybe. But we'll see. So anyway, I'm going to go make some progress on this. And it might be tomorrow when I see you now. But 6 hours for tomorrow as well. I wish this wheel would mix it up a little bit.
1 hour later.
Okay, hello. Literally, I am 53 minutes into the 2 hours for today. I am just here with a quick update for you, actually read an update. I did make it to page 134 of Haunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton, and I have made the decision to DNF this one. I've just been texting with Zoe. I'm feeling uncomfortable. And I think my trigger has kicked in, unfortunately. I was enjoying the fact that we were getting both POVs. So we were getting Adeline's POV and then we were getting our stalker's POV. And I was liking that because it gave me the vibes of Lights Out, where the difference with this is that Lights Out is actually funny. And from literally like square one, she is enjoying the stalking element. This is a lot darker in the sense that she isn't. That's it, she isn't. Not only that, but we've got kind of like almost double the stalking because we have letters from her great-grandmother as well, who also had a stalker in the same house. And so it's like double the stalking, and I'm just feeling incredibly uncomfortable with it. So I've made the decision to DNF it. What this has done has scratched that itch for me because it has been on my mind ever since it became super popular and super viral and loads of people have loved it. It's been on my mind and I've always wanted to pick it up, but I didn't want to put myself into a slump or in a bad headspace. So I've avoided it, and now it's been traditionally published and I see the book in the bookstore. I want to pick it up. I want to have it. I want it on my shelves. It's a really pretty book and the inside of it is really pretty as well. However, I've resisted doing it. I almost picked it up when I went to the bookstore with Zoe last week. I didn't do it. I said to her I would try it on Kindle first, and then if I like it, I will get a trophy. But alas, 100 and odd pages in, that is not the case. It's now scratched that itch and I won't think about it again, which is good. I've tried it. It's not for me. I can't do it. And that's okay. And I've stopped. The minute I've started to feel uncomfortable, I have stopped. I was really hoping that sooner rather than later we would get to a point where she might figure out who the stalker is, or we might get the vibes from her that she's actually not freaked out about this and she's actually kind of enjoying it. There was like one line that she was saying just a second ago about, if you know, you know. She was just saying that she's actually a little bit more turned on than she is frightened right now. But as it's continued on, she is absolutely terrified. And I'm not about that. So I have decided to DNF that one. So that is a DNF for Haunting Adeline. That does not mean that I'm going to go and pick up When the Wolf Comes Home. I'm too tired to pick up a physical read right now. If you can hear that, it's my chair. I'm trying to get comfortable. I'm still too tired to pick up When the Wolf Comes Home right now. So I literally am in the middle of like 9, well, I've just DNF'd Haunting Adeline, so 8 books right now. That is literally not a joke. There is an arc that I do need to get to, but that is another physical read. So I'm going to start an audio book, and the audio that I'm actually going to start is going to be one that, sorry, just totally talking to my Kindle rather than you, is a 99p deal that me and my mum both picked up for the month of May. And I said to her, because I was reading out, I go through the 99p Kindles with her, deals with her since she got her Kindle last month. I go through them with her now, and she gets a couple on her Kindle, and she's read quite a few of them because she went on holiday last month. And I ended up reading this one to her, and I was sucked in by the synopsis. So I'm going to read the synopsis to you now. As it turns out, she said she checked in with me today and she was like, oh, by the way, our, little buddy read that you mentioned, because I said to her, oh, then maybe this could be a cute little buddy read. Not taking myself too seriously, because I was like, it takes her fucking ages to get through 2 books anyway. Get to her books anyway. No, she's like addicted to her Kindle, the same as I am. She will not put it down. So she's ended up getting through this book. She's just texted me saying, finish my book, get reading. So it's time. So the book in question is Friend Request by Laura Marshall. I'll show a picture of it here. And the synopsis for this is, Maria Weston wants to be friends with me. Maybe that had been the problem all along. Maria Weston had wanted to be friends with me, but I let her down. She's been hovering on the edge of my consciousness for all of my adult life. Although I've been good at keeping her out, just a blurred shadow in the corner of my eye. Almost, but not quite out of sight. Maria Weston wants to be friends. Now, I read that synopsis to my mum and I got to the end and I was like, what the fuck do you mean? And then there was this tagline, but Maria Weston has been dead for more than 25 years. And I was like, okay, no, you know what? I'm in. Sign me up. Sounds really, really good. So I'm very excited about this one. Normally I like to read my thrillers in one sitting. That's not going to be possible. I won't be able to read it in one sitting this evening. So I might as well get into it. It would make more sense for me to try and do like the last hour and 5 minutes of today's reading with When the Wolf Comes Home. But I can't tell you how fucking tired I am. And it's my day as a whole, but also then I know that I'm feeling even more mentally drained now from Haunting Adeline, because it has taken, although I've put it down as soon as I felt uncomfortable, it's taken its toll on me a little bit. I can feel it. So I'm going to go into Friend Request and give this a read. So yeah, DNF in Haunting Adeline, getting into Friend Request. Let's try and get this last hour and 5 minutes done, shall we? All right, it is Thursday. It's currently 10:30 and I haven't started reading yet today. I've got 6 hours to get in the bag. So I am going to settle down now. I've not been fucking around, actually. I've been working. I have been planning a video. I've then filmed said video, so that is done now, and I've just tidied up after myself. So I can now settle in and get on with some reading without sitting there thinking, shit, I've got to film that video today. So I've done it. It's done and dusted. I can now sit and read for 6 hours until Andy gets home. So my first plan of action is going to be to finish When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. I'm interested to see how long it will take me to finish these last... How long do I actually have left in this? 133 pages, so it's not as long as I thought at all. I thought it was like 150. So we're going to manage that today, and then we will see how long is left on the clock, and I will probably end up going back to friend request and try and get as far with that as I possibly can. I did get 80 odd pages in last night with the last hour and 5 minutes. It's very fast paced and I am enjoying it. We get it in 2 different timelines. So we've got 2016, which I think is supposed to be current day. And we also have 1991, maybe 1990 something, back when our main character Louise was in school. So it reads very... It's giving me, it's really bizarre, but it's giving me vibes of Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging. Now, I don't know if that's because we go back to the high school days, and it is very high school era-esque, you know, like the drama from Full Frontal Snogging, but I think it's going to get a lot darker. So we have Miriam, who is the person that's added her on Facebook, but she died 25 years ago, and this is the point at which we're building that story up back in the past. We've also got Sophie, who is a friend of Louise's, but she's like a friend of hers in a sense that I think Sophie keeps dragging around to things. Sophie's one of the popular kids, and she's in with the popular kids, and somehow Louise has ended up within that group, although she doesn't quite belong there. She did ditch her childhood best friend to be part of this group. She doesn't really belong there. She doesn't like being a part of it, to be perfectly honest, but she has started to become friends with Miriam, which Sophie doesn't like. But Louise quite likes hanging out with her because Miriam's not afraid to say what she wants to say. So I'm interested to see where this goes in present day. Obviously, Miriam's freaked out by this friend request. She thinks it's a little bit of a joke. She then gets in contact. There's like a school reunion going to happen. So she then gets in contact with Sophie and wants to speak to her about this friend request. Sophie thinks it's all a bit of a joke. And then she speaks to the childhood friend about it. And yeah, it's all interesting. Piecing it all together, very interesting. I don't know if this is something that I would have picked up on my own, although the synopsis is very fascinating and I am intrigued by it. I think if I wasn't buddy reading this with my mum, it's potentially something that I might have DNF'd a little bit early on, but I think the further I get into the book, the more I'm enjoying it. So it did read quite immature and young in the beginning. Now, I don't know if that is because we're back and forth with back in the school days, and I just for some reason cannot get Angus Thongs Full Frontal Snogging out of my head. I can't get that out of my head, and I'm not sure why. It's the literal only comparison to that I have is that it is high school. Still only comparison I have. It is set in the UK as well, which probably then makes it more reminiscent of that. But yeah, I don't know. I am having a good time with it so far. I don't know. It all depends on the reveals, obviously. I don't know if it's going to get much more than a 3 or a 3.5 star, but we will have to see. I'm interested to know what my mum thought, though, because she has now finished it. So I'm interested to know if she would give it a rating, what she would give it. I'll have to text back and forth with her once I've finished it, and I will like show our text thread or something, find out what she said, what she thought. But yeah, so my intention is to finish When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. I will come back, give you my thoughts on this, and then I will let you know how long's left on the clock, and we will see how much further into friend request I can get. I don't know how long I've got left on that. It's probably about maybe 4 hours or so, 3 hours and 47 minutes. So I don't know if I will get quite that long. This may take me 3 hours to finish. I don't know. I read very slow, you see. This is quite fast paced though, to be fair, so it might take me less than that. So without further ado, I need to stop fucking around because I really need to get on with some reading. So let's do that. I am going to change back into my sweater as well. I changed into this because of the video that I was filming. So I'm a little bit chilly, so I'm going to go and change back into my sweater, get my blanket, curl up on here. I may go downstairs later to read down there, but I might just sit here for the next couple of hours and get When the Wolf Comes Home smashed out. Okay, it's currently 1:41. I have paused the timer. I've been filling in Core Pile and Goodreads and Storygraph and NetGalley because I had an arc of this on NetGalley. But I have finished When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. It took me 2 hours and 29 minutes to get through those 133 pages, which isn't too bad, actually. I don't think that's too bad at all. This was fucking insane. This was insane. I think I've mentioned this several times now, but this went completely in a direction that I wasn't anticipating, and I loved every single second. There was like a split second, not quite towards the end, but around like part 4, literally, as we get into part 4, there was a split second where I was like, what the fuck are we going to do here now? Like, what happens now? And then I was like, oh, shit. Like, I hadn't clicked with that at all. I hadn't seen that coming. And right before we got to part 4, I was crying. I was so sad. I was crying. And then we got to, I am all over the place with this review, but there is an author's note in here. Now, it would appear that Nat Cassidy does this often in his books. It seems like maybe he's done it in Nestlings and also in Mary, neither of which I've read. This is my first Nat Cassidy, but I do have Mary on my shelves, and I'm even more excited now to get to it, and I desperately want to get a copy of Nestlings, which in the UK is not easy to do. But the afterword, I sobbed during that as well. This book made me so emotional. There was so much going on. I resonated with Jess on several different levels. So I resonated with the anxiety side of things, and then with the parenting side of things when she, essentially kidnaps this child because she doesn't want children. It's mentioned in the beginning of this book, like, it's not a thing that she wants for herself. I've always wanted kids growing up. Like, I always wanted children right up until I got to probably around my 30s, late 20s, early 30s. And things have changed for me. The world is a shit place. It's a terrible, terrible place. And I fear for the children that I already have in my life, my 2 nephews and my niece. I already fear for them, and I don't know if I have it in me to fear for a child of my own on top of that, with how terrible the world is of a place right now. And I know some people will be like, but you can't let that hold you back, like the world could get better. I understand that, but there are multiple reasons why right now I probably don't want children. I don't think I do. If it happens, it happens, but it's not like I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, I definitely don't want kids, and if I had one, I will be, I would literally hate myself for the rest of my life. It's not that. It's just there are multiple reasons why right now is not in my life. I don't want them. And, I'm getting older. My body clock is ticking. So, there's a chance it might not happen. But I resonated with Jess on that side of things as well, and her thought process when she essentially kidnapped this kid. She was doing it for the right reasons. Her then thought process into, like, how do I do this? How do you parent? And I kind of resonated with that. I resonated with her anxiety, her fears in the world and things like that. And then the kid, this fucking kid, honestly, there was so much that kind of just really hit me in the feels. It really got me. And I don't suffer with, like, bad parenting. My dad is great. He does an incredible job at being my dad. So I don't struggle with that. I didn't resonate on that side of things, but I could understand what she was saying. I could see where she was coming from and where, her life and what she's dealt with in her life with her parenting versus this child with what he's had to deal with in his life and how their paths cross significantly. And just, there's so much I want to say that I can't say because it will spoil the book. And I fucking loved this. I loved the writing style. It was so engaging. It had me hooked from the first page all the way through the book. Every time I wasn't reading this, I was thinking about it and I was wanting to pick it up. The atmosphere, this was so eerie and gruesome, and it had you on the edge of your seat. It had your spine tingling and the hair sticking up on your arms, and it was gory and it was violent and gruesome, but it was heart-wrenching and heartbreaking, and in moments heartwarming. It was doing all of the things, and I cannot explain the feelings that this got out of me. Like, it was insane. I didn't expect to potentially cry at a horror book. It was so brutally violent, and yet so heartbreaking and gut-wrenching, and just, the feelings, all of the feelings. There's going to be so much to say when I can talk spoilery about this on the live show with Gabby and Gavin. I really hope that they had experiences like I did with this. There's probably going to be people in the chat that didn't enjoy this, and that's absolutely fine. You know, a chat about a book where we all felt the same way about it. I mean, it will probably be a very interesting chat if that is the case, but they're even more interesting when there are people that just, you know, couldn't vibe with it, didn't connect with it, or it was too much, or there will be people that are potentially triggered with this book, but, you know, the trauma ingrained in this, it's just so much going on. I gave this 5 stars. It was so fucking good, and I wasn't certain what rating I was going to give this until I read that afterword. And on occasion this happens. On occasion I get to the afterword or the author's note at the end. I think this happened with Wicked King with Kay Ancram. I was so confused with my feelings with that book, and then I read the author's note at the end and I was like, nah, 5 stars, straight up 5 stars. And that will forever live with me. It will forever be on my mind that it was the afterword in that book that solidified the 5 stars for me with that book. Same thing with this. The afterword with this solidified it being a 5 star. I thought it was going to be like a 4.5. No, straight up 5 stars. It has to be. It just did so many things. It was so fucking good. So good. And I'm so glad that there wasn't an audiobook ready for me with this, because I don't know if I would have. I'm so intrigued to know what the audiobook's going to be like, actually, but I don't know if it would have elicited so many feelings out of me. You know, I don't know if it would have hit me in the gut as much with how insanely good this book is if I'd have just done the audiobook, because I might not have tandem read it, I might not have immersion read it, and I might have just listened while pottering, you know. And so it does have me wondering whether I'm missing out on so many other incredible books because I'm just listening to it and I'm not necessarily like immersion reading it, or I'm not physically reading it. I'm so interested I've got Direbound by Sable Sorensen on my shelves it's on my TBR for June, and there's no audiobook for that. And I'm so excited now to physically read that and see if I feel a similar kind of way, you know. I'm excited to get to Mary now, though, by Nat Cassidy, because I've been putting that off because there's no audiobook. And again, I've got to stop doing that. And a goal of mine this year was to stop putting books off just because there's no audiobook. So I'm glad that being on the live show with Gabby and Gavin, if I get nothing else out of it, which I highly doubt, this is going to be an incredible discussion. I've absolutely no doubt about that in my mind. But you know, I'm so grateful to Gabby for asking me to go on the live show, first of all, because it will be a phenomenal live show and because it will be great to discuss a book with Gabby and Gavin. But secondly, because it's forced me to pick this up a lot sooner than I probably would have. Because I was putting it off because there wasn't an audiobook, and I probably would have put it off until the audiobook released. So, you know, I've been able to put my review in not too much later after it's been released. I actually have no idea when the official release date was for this, but I've been able to put my review in now on NetGalley. I've reviewed it on Amazon. I've done a mini review on Goodreads and Storygraph with a link to the live show. So again, I will link the live show in the description box down below. If you were interested in all of my thoughts on this and you've read it and you missed the live show, I'll leave a link to it in the description box down below. Just bear in mind, chances are it's going to be spoilery. So if you were interested in picking this up, I probably wouldn't recommend watching that until you've read this. But I would highly recommend picking this up. This was so good. Like, my heart actually hurts. I partially don't want to go straight back into another book. I may have to take a little bit of a break from reading just to make some lunch, first of all. It's 10 to 2. But This was so good. This could put me in a little bit of a book hangover, I fear. Not great for this challenge, that's for damn sure. I've still got 3.5 hours to read for the day, which could actually have me finishing. Let's move on. I'm gonna have to move on. It could have me finishing, no, not quite, 3 hours and 47 minutes on 2.3 times speed. If I did it on 2.4, 3 hours 38, how long have I got left? Literally 3 hours and 31 minutes. So yeah, I don't think there's a chance of me quite finishing. Could on 2.5. I'd have to properly immersion read though. There's a potential that I could finish Friend Request today by Laura Marshall, but I won't get anything else started. So what I might end up doing is getting to a point where there's maybe like a half hour left on the timer and start then another book ready. You know what I'm like. I don't like to just finish my book for the day and then not start something else. I like to know what it is that I'm going to be reading the next day. So I may do that. So I will let you know what it is that I plan to do. But my next thing to go into will be Friend Request. I actually don't know if there's something that I'm like in the middle of several books, but I'm also in the middle of several vlogs. So there is that too. Yeah, there's not really, I could go back to Lady of Shadows, but I'm not in the mood for that. I don't really want to do that. So I don't know what I will end up picking up following this. I may start on my July TBR because Sunday is July. Maybe I'll do that, or I don't know what I'll pick up. We'll see. I will let you know later on though. But I'm going to go. I'm going to get on with this. I'm going to get some lunch. This was so fucking good. Please pick it up. If you are even slightly a horror reader, please pick this up. My heart hurts so bad. I definitely need to sit with my thoughts on this for a little bit. I'm going to go and get some lunch. I might not read anything while I'm having my lunch. I don't tend to like doing that anyway, but while I've been doing these challenges, and especially on the basis that I was filming this morning and I do need to get my 6 hours in, I may do, but I don't know. I just feel like I need to sit with my thoughts on this a little bit. This was so fucking good. I actually just want to pick Mary up and go into that. I probably shouldn't do that, but that's what I actually want to do next. I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to go. I'm going to get some lunch. I'll check in with you later. Okay, hey, some time has passed. It's now 5 to 4. 5 to 4? Wowzers. I'm on 3 hours and 46 minutes. I did take a bit of a break between When the Wolf Comes Home and continuing on with Friend Request. I'm now 185 pages into this, so I've read another 100 pages or so. It's going okay. I'm not loving it, I've got to be honest. I think if it wasn't a buddy read with my mum, I'd probably DNF it. I'm gonna speak to her, I think, see what she thought of it. If she says it was okay, I'll probably DNF it. But if she like truly loved it and said that the twists and turns and everything at the end were fantastic, then I'll probably carry on with it. The ratings on it are very high, so, you know, maybe it's just me. But I have decided to switch to something else. However, I have just got a couple of bits to post, so I thought I would open them with you. This has come from, I've been calling it IZE Press, and on the bottom of the letter inside this parcel, it says it's IZE Press. IZE, pronounced IZE, you know? IZE, but pronounced IZE. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's come from them. There is a letter from the press team. This book apparently comes out on July 22nd, along with an audiobook counterpart as well. I think that in the UK is later. I think it's actually August, but I think it comes out maybe in the US in July. But there was this gorgeous, gorgeous box in here. So thank you to them for sending me this. There is a pen with the name of the book on it, which is very cute. There is a pin as well. A bookmark. This has some foiling on it, which is lush, but a nice little bookmark. We have a notepad, which is fun. I don't know what this is for, but oh, it's a magnet. I just figured it out. I was like, a business card? No, it's a magnet. We've got a little postcard as well to advertise also. And then inside, I do in fact have said novel, which is Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. by Sing and Song. And this looks like a lot of fun, actually. It is a sci-fi, I think. I think it's like an apocalypse sort of thing. If you're reading this, you will survive. Kill each other within the time limit or die. It's just another evening commute on the train until passengers are given an order they cannot disobey. Utter chaos ensues, but ordinary office worker Dr. Kim only feels an unsettling calm. He knows exactly how this will play out. The subway car, the passengers' reactions, even the bizarre creature that suddenly appears to oversee this sadistic scenario. Everything is straight out of his favourite story, an online novel so obscure he is its sole reader. And as the only one who knows where the plot is headed, Doctor must use his knowledge to survive the oncoming apocalypse. This volume collects chapters 1 to 25 of the original web novel. Nice. I haven't heard of this before, so this is very exciting, but thank you to Eyes Press for sending me that. I truly appreciate it. I am going to put it back in its box because I'll probably do like a unboxing for Instagram and TikTok or something. But yeah, thank you to them for that. That's very exciting. I will pick that up at some point. And then the other thing that's come in, I'm so excited. I had this pre-ordered. I've just cancelled my pre-order because now I have this physical copy. Unless I absolutely love it, and then I will get a physical copy as well. But I spotted that Harper 360 were actually mentioning that they had the arcs for these in now, and I was so excited, and I was like, oh, got my fingers crossed, I hope I get one. It's just come through the door today, and it is The Romance Rivalry by Suzanne Lee. I haven't read anything from this author before, but this sounds fantastic, and I actually think I'm going to move on to this and read this for the rest of my hours. So I've got an hour and 14 minutes left, so I think I'm going to move on to this because it just sounds really, really fun, and this is what I want. I want something fun and quirky, and why the heck not? Maybe I can get it read before it comes out before it's published, which is the 5th of June. So this one says, every love story needs a good trope. Irene Park loves romance novels, so much so she's made a career of them as an online book reviewer with a massive following. Twinning. Maybe not on the massive following, but twinning. But Irene's real life dating story, non-existent. That was me twinning for like 4 years ago. So when she starts her freshman year of college, she sets her sights on finding true love using one thing she really understands: romance book tropes. Enter Yeon, Irene's online book review rival and ultimate nemesis. When Aiden challenges her to see who can find love by trope first, he becomes the one person standing in the way of her getting everything she wants, both professionally and personally. As Irene tackles the challenges of college life and struggles to figure out what she really wants for herself, all while trying to fall in love, she realises that her ultimate happily ever after has been right there the entire time. It just takes finding the right trope to realise it. I haven't read anything from Suzanne Lee before, but I'm aware that she has done Soulmates and The Name Drop. I actually really want to read this one for sure, but I've heard incredible things about this one too. So I want to give this one a go, and then maybe I'll go back and read Suzanne's backlist. But yeah, very excited about this one. This cover is stunning. I'm obsessed. So I thought I'd just come on and give you an update of where I'm up to with Friend Request. I'm going to text my mum, see what she thought of it, and if she's like, meh, it was mediocre, I've read better, I'm going to DNF it. I think I'm only 50% in. It feels like I've been reading this book forever. I literally haven't. I've read for like an hour yesterday of it, an hour and 5 minutes yesterday, and where was I up to? 2 hours 29 minutes. So I've read for an hour and 15 minutes of it today. Is that right? Yeah. So I've literally read it for 2 hours and 20 minutes, but it feels like it's been going on forever. And I'm only halfway through. So, if she really loved it, I will carry on with it so that we can discuss it. But yeah, I'm going to go and I'm going to give this a read. I'm very excited. So I will let you know. Should we do the spin now so I don't need to come back and chat with you again, because I've done a couple of quite long updates, especially with my review for When the Wolf Comes Home, and this one's already 7.5 minutes long. So should we do a spin now for tomorrow's hours so I can just come back and chat with you tomorrow morning? Tomorrow's Friday. I've got a bit of work to do for my dad in the morning, and Andy's off work, so if we get something a little bit smaller, that would be great. So let's see what we get. That was unnecessarily loud. Okay, 3 hours. So, we will have to see if I manage that tomorrow. He knows what I'm doing this week, so I will manage it. He'll be like, what are your hours today? Because I've been telling him how successful it's going. At least we've got a different figure than 2 or 6 though, so that's good news. So yeah, tomorrow 3 hours. I will probably either get this finished tomorrow or friend request tomorrow. It does mean I'll have to start something else as well though, because it's only Friday tomorrow. I kind of feel like I'm flying through books, but also I've only finished 2 things. I have DNF'd something as well though, haven't I? Because I was reading Haunting Adeline as well. It's because I'm filming another video, I'm actually filming another 2 videos in the background, that's why. So yeah, anyway, gonna go and check this out, and I will be back with you tomorrow for 3 hours of reading. So let's go. Okay, hello. I did indeed come back to you. So I didn't need to spin earlier, but regardless, we've done it. I know how many hours I'm doing. I also got my timings wrong earlier. I've probably put something on screen. I told you I had like an hour and 15 minutes left. I did not. I had 2 hours and 15 minutes left. Math is hard, okay? Anywho, it's now 5:30. And the day, I feel like it's completely gotten away from me. I have managed to do quite a bit. Like I've filmed a whole video. I finished When the Wolf Comes Home. I've updated a couple of reviews on NetGalley, which is great. I've caught up with a bit of NetGalley stuff. So, you know, I've made some more progress in friend request, and now I've started another book. But I've got 4 hours, 40 minutes on the clock. So I've got 20, let's see if we can get this right this time. 20 minutes will get me to 5 hours. So I've got an hour and 20 minutes left. And I have been reading The Romance Rivalry by Susan Lee. I am on page 73. I'm having a fabulous time. This is hilarious. This is so funny and so fun, and it's exactly what I needed as well. There was a bit in the beginning of this book that had like a glossary, and it was going on about like what HEA is, which is happily ever after, FMC, MMC, author by author, and then Black Dagger Brotherhood. And now it's been mentioned several times, and now I'm like, ooh, I want to go back to the Black Dagger Brotherhood, because I read the first one but never continued with the series. But anyway, yeah, can't stop thinking about that. Flowers in the Attic has been mentioned as well, which is one of my mum's favourite, like throwback favourite books, so I should probably read that at some point. Maybe, she's just recently reread it, actually, because that was one of the first things she downloaded on a Kindle, which is now why she's getting back into reading. She cannot detach the Kindle from her hand. Fair. But yeah, I'm on chapter 4. The chapters in this are very long. I'm on chapter 4, and I'm just loving this. This is so much fun, because not only is it just a fun read, but I'm relating to it in like several other ways as well, because I too am a romance reader, and I too am a romance reviewer as well. I have a YouTube channel, you know what I mean? Like, she's got 1 million followers. I don't have that many followers, but she's got like a really high following, you know. On occasion she gets recognized. This has only happened to me once, maybe twice, I don't know. But it will never not be strange, not like weird in a weird way, but like it's a confusing state of mind to be in. It's like an out-of-body experience. But regardless, this is so much fun. I'm really enjoying this story. Irene is hilarious. I think she's really funny. We've just come across Aiden as well, actually, at uni, so that's hilarious. They're now kind of like accidentally, not on purpose, flirting with each other. And she has also just been invited to like a book club. So she got invited by a guy that came over to the table and had like a flyer, and he was like, we've got a book club, blah, blah, blah. And she's like proper staring. She sat with her roommate, Jeanette, and she's like proper staring at him. And he says, she suddenly comes back to her body, and she's like, wait, did you say book club? And he's like, I did, he says, in what is, of course, a low melodic voice saved for the angels. Do you like to read? talk dirty to me. She doesn't say that out loud, it's in her head. It's just hilarious though. And then at the end of that like whole interaction, when he disappears, Jeanette says, "Be right back." Jeanette says to me, "Gotta go change my panties." And it's just, this is going to be so much fun. I think that it's going to be filled with like all of the tropes, but I think it's very much so like an ode to romance readers, and it's very much so an ode to like romance books. It's like a love letter to romance readers, and I think it's going to be perfect. Ali Hazelwood on the front actually says, "Suzanne Lee has written an ode to all romance readers. It's the kind of book I've been wanting to read for decades, a love letter to love stories and an instant favourite." And I agree. I'm already obsessed. I'm just having a great time. A couple of my favourite, well, a couple authors that I have read from before, Ali Hazelwood, Axio has said, "Sweeney, hilarious and big-hearted, drop everything and read this book," which is exactly what I've done. So, you know, Axio, I'm doing as I'm told. Helen Huang has said, "A deliciously Sweeney romance." And Jenna Evans Welch, I haven't read from this author before, but they did Love and Gelato. The perfect reminder of why contemporary YA has my heart. It's just a lot of fun, and I'm having a very good time. There are little, like, you know, tidbits of areas in which I would say that's what she said. It's not been said yet in the book. I'm hoping it might do at some point, because that's my jam, you know? But there is like accidental flirting, and I'm just obsessed. I'm having such a good time. So I'm going to continue on with this for the next hour and 20 minutes. And yeah, I will let you know probably tomorrow, unless there's something else to tell you about it. I just wanted to tell you I was having a good time, and I'm really enjoying it. I've laughed out loud several times now, so this was a great shout. This is exactly what I wanted. I definitely don't want to go back to friend request. So I need to text my mum and let her know that that is what's happening with that. I don't know if I'm going to go back to that book, I've got to be honest. I wouldn't mind if she just spoiled it for me and told me what happened, in all honesty. Like, I can't be bothered. Unless the twist was absolutely fantastic. There's so many 4 and 5 star reviews on it though. That's the problem. I think the twist could be pretty epic, but I also don't know if I care enough about the book that it could make that much of a difference. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't care about the characters. I just find them quite whiny and complete and utter fucking bitches, and I just don't care. So I'm going to go back to something that's putting a smile on my face, and I'm having a fantastic time. This was such a good shout. This came in at the right time. Harper 360. I love you. Thank you. Okay, howdy. It is Saturday. Yesterday did not go well. It's almost 12 o'clock, but we are going to be going out soon to see Andy's mum, because she's going away next week and I won't get a chance to see her. She's away for like 16 days. So we're going to call out soon to see Andy's mum, and then the F1 qualifying is on, so we'll be back for that. I've been editing a video this morning, so it was vital that I do that this morning. I needed to film some extra bits for it. So yeah, yesterday we spun for 3 hours for yesterday, which we actually spun on Thursday. I didn't speak to you at all yesterday on Friday. I ended up going to see my brother and the kids, because obviously Thomas is off school. It's been half term. So I ended up doing some work in the morning for my dad, a little bit of work for myself. We went to go and see the kids. We met up with my parents as well. And then we came home and we went out for a little bit, had a couple of drinks, got some tea, came home. And I was knackered. So I didn't do any reading last night, but in the morning I did read for about an hour and a half, an hour and 27 minutes. So in theory, I have about an hour and 33 minutes left on the clock. If we spin low today, I will add it on. If we don't, we're just going to take Friday as a fail. We'll have to see what happens with that. What I did read in that time, though, was friend request. I've continued on with this. I text my mum. She said there was a lull in it and it was slow, but to continue on with it and persevere with it. Currently 299 pages in. I'm on chapter 33, which is about 80%. So I don't have too long left to go. I think I have just over an hour left to go on this. So I do want to get that finished today. Another thing that I would like to finish today is the romance Rivalry by Suzanne Lee. I'm loving this. This is so good. I got to page 179 on Thursday when I picked this up, and I'm loving it. It's so much fun. It is I just really love the ode to book lovers in general, not the book lovers, people that love reading, and book reviewers, but also all the tropes as well. It's just so much fun, and I'm really enjoying the fact that he, you know, you can tell, we only get from Irene's POV, but you can already tell she just cannot fucking see it at all, but you can already tell that Aidan is into her, you know. There's other characters in here that can tell as well, but she's just totally oblivious to it. It's hilarious. So I'm having the best time with this. I would love to finish this today as well so that it's down as a May read. And then we'll start something new for June because it is June 1st tomorrow. So if I could finish both of these today, that would be fantastic. I don't think it will take too much longer to finish this. I might just have like an hour and a half or a couple of hours left on this, and I've got like an hour left on this. So if we spin low and get like an hour, I will add that hour and a half on that I've still got left to do. I may even add it on. I don't know where I think I'm going to get all these hours from later. I may even add it on if we get 2 hours as well. So if we get 2 hours and low, 1 or 2 hours, I will add it on. If we do not, and we get something above 2 hours, I won't add it on, I don't think. Or I'll just go for a little bit longer if necessary. If I get like 3 hours and it takes me longer, just a bit longer than 3 hours, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Let's just hope we don't get 6 hours, because there's no fucking way I'm going to manage that today. And I would love not to have another fail. So let's get my screen record on and press spin. I'm nervous. Okay, 3 hours. That's not too bad. We can do that. I appreciate the cheering. Okay, 3 hours. We are really, really enjoying the 6 2s and 3s this week. I wonder if maybe we'll get something else for tomorrow. What is my plan tomorrow? Oh, we'll go and see my nana in the morning, and then my nan in the afternoon. It's the F1 after that. So again, if I could spin low for tomorrow, that would be great, but we'll have to see what happens with that. So my intention is to try and finish both of these today, which I think I could do within that 3 hour period. I do have an hour and a half left over if I do spill over with that. So we'll see what happens. I do want to get both of these in as May read, so that I can gush about this book, because I reckon it's going to be 5 stars. It's fantastic and I'm loving it. So I better get going, because we're about to go to Andy's mum's soon. And then we need to get back for the qualifying at 3. We need to be back before the qualifying at 3. I think it's at 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. I'm hoping we're back before that. Maybe I could get like a half hour or an hour's reading in before that, but we'll see. It's 12 o'clock now and we've got to get to his mum's first. So yeah, hopefully by the end of the day. Oh, I still have the live show tonight as well for When the Wolf Comes Home at 7 o'clock. So that's probably going to be about an hour or so, and then we may end up hanging backstage to chat for a little bit. I don't know. But I've got to, you know, I've got to get on my shit today because I've got a lot to do. So let's get on with it, shall we? Okay, hello. It is 9:53 in the evening. It's almost 10 o'clock. I have had, when did I last speak to you? Is it this morning? I've had quite the busy day. I have edited a video. We nipped out to go and see Andy's mom and stepdad. We then nipped to see my parents as well. Then we watched the F1 qualifying. Then I came up to do a little bit of reading, and then I had When the Wolf Comes Home. I've got Wolf Gone Wild on my brain. When the Wolf Comes Home live show with Gabby and Gavin, which was so much fun. I absolutely love that book. And then I just spent the last, I had my tea after that. Andy made us tea while I was on the live show. Watched a little bit of telly with Andy, and then I've just come home and finished the rest of the romance rivalry. So I do have 2 hours and 55 minutes on the clock. So I've got 5 minutes of today's timer left. We're just gonna sack off that 1.5 hours from yesterday. It is what it is. I just didn't manage it yesterday. It was a busy day, unfortunately. So I have finished this. Let me give you my review on this, and then we'll spin for tomorrow so I can start something new this evening with my last 5 minutes ready for tomorrow. So this by Suzanne Lee. Thank you to Harper360 for sending me this. The minute it came in, I just wanted wanted to start it, so that's exactly what I did. So this was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed the combination of book reviewers and book review spaces. I loved the combination of the book tropes, romance books, things like that. And I feel like there was a lot of important discussions around this as well. There was also the discussion of going to college and feeling like you're doing things for the sake of other people, parents, for example, or whatever, and also disappointing parents as well, different cultures. So not following maybe in parents' footsteps, things like that, which I relate to also in a similar vein. So I just think there was a lot of things going on in here. I think for some people they might feel like there is too many things going on in here. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was, you know, refreshing, and I just had such a fun time with it. I really did enjoy myself with this. So I did give this one 4.5 stars. I thought it was fantastic, and I really, really enjoyed myself. So thank you again to Harp360 for sending me this. Truly appreciate it. I am going to try and get hold of is it Soulmates, or do you pronounce it Soulmates? And also the Name Drop, because I think I'm going to really enjoy them. So I'm going to try and get my hands on a copy of each of those at some point. But yeah, I definitely want to go back and read some of her backlist. Really enjoyed this one. 4.5 stars. Please get a copy of it, because it was really, really good. It does come out on it says the 5th of June on the back of here. I don't know if that's true in the UK or if that is in the US. Let me double check. It does come out on the 5th of June. You can get it in time for Father's Day. What the relevance of that is, I will never know. It does come out on the 5th of June though. So yeah, if you're interested in this one, I would definitely recommend checking it out. It's very, very good. 4.5 stars for this one. So we do need to spin the wheel for tomorrow, and then I can decide what it is that I'm going to pick. I'm kind of hoping we get a low figure tomorrow. I'm going seeing both of my nana and my nan in the morning, and the F1's on in the afternoon. We're going to try and get back for that. And I would like to spend a little bit of time with Andy while he's off as well. So I'm hoping for like 1 hour. That would be great. I'm really hoping we don't get a high figure. So let's set this up. Okay, let's spin. Fingers crossed for a low number. Did I just manifest that? Okay. Fantastic news. I now need to pick a book. I have 1 hour and 5 minutes to complete, so we want to pick something shorty patorty. I don't think there's anything specifically on my TBR that will complete this prompt, but it would be nice to pick something that's already on my June TBR. It's not July yet. You know what I could do? I'm not particularly in the mood for this, I've got to be honest, but it's lingering over my head because I should have read it by now. It's on my 12 books from 12 friends, and it is Spy Family Volume 5. It's just to continue on with this series. I currently have 12 volumes, and I resisted from buying any more while I was shopping with Jade last month. April, yeah. Because I didn't want to make that commitment. I'm getting to a point with this, like I did with Death Note, where I'm just finding that there's way too much text on the page and it could have been a novel. Do you know what I mean? It's like when you go to a meeting and you're like, that could have been an email. Sometimes I read some of this manga and I'm like, that could have been a full novel. That could have been a light novel, you know? What is the need? Why is there so much text? So anyway, I'm going to continue on with this one. We're following Twilight, who is an undercover agent, and he's been tasked with this mission to get to this guy. Now, the way that he's ended up getting to this guy is ending up with a fake wife and a fake daughter. Said daughter has gone to the school with this guy's kid, and this is the way that he's aiming to get into it all. But it just comes with its own set of complications and stuff, and it's just, so far it's been fun and I've been enjoying it, but I have gotten to this volume and I'm like, there's just no need to have this amount of text. So I feel like this could be, depending on how this volume goes, this will either make or break the rest of this series for me. Like, I think it was like volume 4 or 3 or 4 of Death Note that broke the camel's back with me for that series. So I feel like this is a good one. I'm hoping that I can get this done in the space of an hour and 5 minutes, fingers crossed. It usually takes me about, I don't know, 30 to 40 minutes, depending on how much text there is to get through a manga volume. So on the basis that this has got way more text in it, it may take me like an hour to get through, we'll see. But yeah, I will be back tomorrow, because obviously I'm going to start this now for the next 5 minutes, and then I will let you know tomorrow how I've got on. I may even sneakily, like, it's already 10:05, so I could even try and finish this off in bed by like gone midnight, just to get my time in, and then it's done and dusted. I don't need to think about it tomorrow. We'll see though, we'll see. But yeah, can't believe I actually just manifested that 1 hour. Amazing. Couldn't have done that for myself on Tuesday though, and I wanted more than 2 hours. So yeah, let's see if we can get this ticked off and boxed off as our first book for June. It will be a shame to start June off, to be fair, with if I end up DNFing this series, because this has just been too much. But we'll see what happens. I don't know, I'm hopeful that that won't be the case and I will still enjoy this. So let's do this. I'm going to get started with this for the last 5 minutes of my timer, and then I will go into the rest of it tomorrow. So let's go. Okay, howdy. It is Sunday. It is 6:38 Sunday evening. I didn't realise it was that early, actually. I thought it was so much later. It's because we've had our tea early. Andy's already flat out on the couch because we've had our Sunday dinner. So I'm currently 12 minutes into the timer for today, in which I only need to do an hour. And I'm reading Spy Family Volume 5. Now, I've took my bookmark out. I've gotten to this point, this far in. There's no page numbers, which is super helpful, you know. So I've gotten this far in. Guys, I just don't care anymore. I don't know if that I've left it too long, or if it is the same issue that I had with Death Note, where there's just way too much text on the page. Like a couple more pages on and the text is just insane. And if you're gonna do this much text in a manga, just do it as a light novel. Like, is this necessary? I had the same issue with Death Note, and I just don't care. And I know this is going to hurt a lot of people. I do apologise, but I'm DNFing the series. I just don't care anymore. I know it's well loved. I have loved the first 4 volumes of this, really enjoyed them, but they weren't as dense as this one. And I've seen a couple of reviews that mention that not a lot happens in this one. It's kind of mundane, but there's so much text to it, and I just don't think it's absolutely necessary. So I'm just kind of losing my way with it a little bit. There are 12 volumes on my shelves, so I'm going to be unhauling 12 volumes of manga today, which is fine, but you know, I am a little bit sad about it. So it is what it is. I am DNFing this, so I do need to find something else to read for the last how long will I have? 38 minutes or 48 minutes? 12 minutes in. 48 minutes. So I think what I'm actually going to do is go back to Ye Old Faithful, The Girl from the Other Side, and read volume 8, I think I'm on. So I think I'm just going to read this and see how long. I may end up reading volume 9 as well, we'll see. Because this one, I know, doesn't have lots of text in it. Like, this is the point of a manga. You tell the story, you don't have a boatload of text. You're telling the story through the images. For me, personally, that's the point in a graphic novel and manga. I just don't see the point in having loads of text. You might as well be a light novel or a normal novel, you know? Anyway, my personal opinion. So yeah, I'm going to continue on with this. Read volume 8 at least, maybe volume 9 if I get the chance to fit it in for the last leg of this video. And I'll probably be back tomorrow to wrap this video up and let you know how I did and tell you everything that I read. So let's go and do that, shall we? Okay, good morning. It is Monday and I'm here to wrap this vlog up. I had such a good time with the spinner wheel this week, actually. I definitely want to do this again. There were only 2 days that I did not complete the time that I spun for, and that was Friday with 3 hours and then yesterday with an hour. I know that seems dramatic. I just wasn't in the mood yesterday, and sometimes that happens, and that's okay, you know? So it is what it is. But yeah, I think overall the entire challenge went really, really well. I had a very good time. I will say, I have already mentioned this earlier on in the video. I've already edited the video up until this point, but I will say, I think in future what I will do is put the numbers on 3 times, and every time a number comes up, it gets removed from the wheel so that there is less chance of it coming up again, because obviously 6, 2 and 3 all came up twice, and then we had 1 at the very end. So, you know, it's very much in favour of certain numbers and not others. So it would be nice to get a bit more variety next time, I think, on that basis. So very quickly, let's give you a rundown of what it is that I read. I also realised that I didn't give you a full thoughts review on friend requests, so I will be doing that as well as we go through in order of what it was that I read. So we did start the week off with The Door-to-Door Bookstore by Kirsten Henn. I really, really enjoyed this. I thought it was very, very well done, and I really enjoyed the whole storyline of it as well. And I did give this one, let me just confer with Corpile before I make a bold statement that's entirely wrong. I gave it 4 stars. That's what I thought. I did give it 4 stars, and I had a very good time. And thank you again to Victoria for putting this one in my TBR jar. I truly appreciate you. So that is also another book knocked off my 24 books in 2024, and it did complete the Buzzwordathon challenge for the month of June. So yay for that, 4 stars for that one. Then I did read When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy, one of my favourite books of the month. It's up there with Leave Me Behind by KM Morinovo, and I loved this so much. It was so good. Actually, a few days have gone by since I had the live show with Gabby and Gav, and even more days have gone by since I finished this, and I still can't stop thinking about it. It was so, I think, incredibly powerful with its storytelling. It had a lot to tell us, and I think there were so many different elements to this that really got you thinking, you know, anxiety, parents, the things that parents will do to try and help kids, but also that can come across as harming kids, and, you know, just so many incredible different things for you to think about. And it was so incredibly well done. Went completely in a different direction than I anticipated. I did give this one 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. Then at this point I did DNF Haunting Adeline. I know some people will be sad about this. Some people will not be surprised in the slightest. You will probably be more surprised that I even picked it up to begin with. I did make it a reasonable way in, I think like over 100 pages in, but it's just, it's scratched the itch now, because every single time I see it, I want to pick it up. So I've tried it now. That itch will now go away, and I'll stop feeling bad about it. So I don't know why I was feeling bad about it in the first place. So I did DNF Haunting Adeline. The reason behind it, if you haven't watched the whole of this vlog and you're just here at the end, I don't know why you would be. That would be weird. But the reason behind it is because of the stalking. It is a trigger for me. I knew it was in there. I went into the book actively knowing that. But I just wanted to give it a go, because I did wonder if it might be more on the Lights Out or Ruinous Trilogy side of things, maybe not as comedic. But it would appear that the only way that it's okay for me is if it's in a comedic setting. So, you know, whatever. Then I did in fact finish Friend Request. I don't know what happened. I must have been so excited about the romance rivalry, I just forgot to give you an update on this entirely. I did in fact finish it. This was the buddy read that I was doing with my mum. I don't know what she rated it, to be honest. I do need to find out of her. But I ended up giving this 2.5 stars. By the end, I just did not care in the slightest. The reveal, albeit not predictable, wasn't shocking in any capacity for me. And I just didn't have a particularly good time. I didn't find it. I felt like it was just too long, to be perfectly honest. I feel like we were going into way too much detail on some stuff. And also the storytelling of it could have been condensed a little bit more, maybe 50 pages less, and it might have been better. I do also think as well that I could be at fault with this a little bit. As I did mention at the beginning when I was picking this up, I prefer to read my thrillers for sure, but also sometimes horrors as well, but definitely thrillers. I prefer to read them in a day, in one sitting if possible, but in a day at least, even if that's in a couple of sittings, like getting up, pottering around, doing something, and then sitting back down again. And the reason behind that is that I can start to get bored, and I can start to feel like it's dragged out, and sometimes it's not the book's fault, it's me for dragging the book out itself. I think this took me in total, how many days did it take me to read this? 4 days to read this. I've never taken 4 days over a thriller before that I haven't DNF'd. So I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the process of reading it. I didn't enjoy the storytelling. I didn't enjoy any of it, to be perfectly honest. And I didn't like our main character either, Louise. I did not like her in the slightest. So, yeah, I didn't have a good time with this one, unfortunately. 2.5 stars. Maybe June's Buddy Read will be better. I have no idea what that is there yet. I need to go through the 99p Kindle deals with her because that's what we end up picking. So, I will check with her and find out though, and that will no doubt be in a vlog at some point throughout the month. Then I did move on to The Romance Rivalry by Suzanne Lee. Really enjoyed this, had a very good time with it. It was very fun, and I think just even more fun on the basis that I myself am also a book reviewer that is very heavy on the romance, and I just really enjoyed, again, the different elements to this, the romance itself, the book reviewer side of things, the parental side of things when your parents are expecting too much from you or don't seem to be proud of you for the things that make you happy, you know what I mean? So different things like that, and obviously the culture side of it as well, because that does come in massively with the parental side of things. So I just really enjoyed this. I thought it was fantastic. Loved the writing style. Definitely want to pick up more from Susan Lee. I gave this one 4.5 stars. Then I did DNF Spy Family, the whole series, at volume 5. Am I still a little bit salty about this? Yes, I am. I just don't see, and I know a lot of people are probably looking at me going, there's not even that many words on the page, like, and it's a lot shorter words than it would be if it was a novel. And I understand what you're saying, but this for me, as a manga or a graphic novel, is just too much. It's unnecessary. I just don't think you need to have that many words on the page. And if you're going to do it, maybe add another page so it's spread out a bit more, or turn it into a light novel, you know? I had the issue with Death Note, and now I've got the same issue with Spy Family. So I will expect to see all of these in my ins and outs for the month of May. But yeah, I'm salty about it. I'm not going to lie. I'm just mad about it. I also don't think that I particularly care about the story anymore either. This is another one that I've dragged out way too long. So, I mean, it is still releasing, but I should have maybe binged some of it a little bit and then stopped and then binged again, but I didn't do that. So I have DNF'd that one. And then last night, for the last 28 minutes that I actually managed to read yesterday, I did decide to read The Girl from the Other Side, volume 8. I would have read volume 9 if I thought that I could have finished it in the 20 minutes that I had left, but I didn't think that I would be able to, and it would have frustrated me to have run over. So, albeit I do still have an hour and a half hanging around in the background, regardless, I didn't do it. So I managed 40 minutes and I did read volume 8 of The Girl from the Other Side. This has started to get really sad, and now I don't know where it's going to go, the direction it's going to go in. I was sad about that volume, I'm not gonna lie. I did give it 4 stars. Can't tell you anything about it because it will spoil. Obviously I'm 8 volumes in now, which is a long way in, but it will spoil stuff. But I am sad about where this went in this volume. I did give it 4 stars though, so I had a good time with that one as well. And that was everything that I did read for this challenge, including friend request. But I also did during this challenge as well, I very briefly mentioned to you, because I was going on about the fact that I wanted to pick an audiobook up and I didn't know what to go into. I think it was right before I was picking up The Romance Rivalry, right before that came in actually, because I didn't know I was going to pick that up. And I was mentioning that I was partway through Lady of Shadows and I could go back to this. I was 84 pages into it on chapter 9, and I have in fact made the decision to DNF this series. I just don't care. I started it a week or two ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, around the time I was reading Leave Me Behind. I think I started it, and I just do not care. I gave the first one 4 stars, but I think I was being too generous with my rating because I felt like that's what I had to give it because everyone else was loving it and I just didn't. And I think that rating does need to come down for me to about 2.5, 3 stars. I know that seems harsh and brash, but for me, this series, well, the first book especially, is, I don't want to say a rip-off. It's a copy and paste for me of pretty much the same thing. It's a copy and paste for me of ACOTAR. I've read it. You know what I mean? I've literally read these characters before. Their names, pretty much read them. There is a Cassius in here. What do you mean? It's pretty much copy and paste of ACOTAR, and I just don't care. If the books were shorter, maybe I'd be a bit more invested, but they're not. There's way too many characters in here as well. I cannot keep them straight. I don't know who's who. I don't know who's important. I don't know who's a side character. I'm just not invested in the slightest, and I just don't care to continue. I will say, as they've been coming out on the 99p Kindle deal, I have been collecting them, so I could come back to the series, but as far as continuing to collect the books are concerned, I'm not going to be doing that. Yeah, so we've got the two big ones, Scarlet and Sorin, who are the important ones. And then this reminds me very much so of, not as intense actually, but Priory of the Orange Tree, where there's those 15 pages at the back of the book of characters within the book. I got 250 pages into that book, saw that at the back of the book and was like, hell fucking no, because I couldn't tell you anything that happened in that book except for an arranged marriage at the beginning, and apparently somewhere in the book there's a dragon. Couldn't tell you anything else. There was too many characters going on for my liking. My dad's like this. He can't read books with too many characters, but in his, he needs literally like max 3 characters. That's it. Max 3 characters in a book, otherwise he can't concentrate properly. I can deal with more than that, but not this many, and not as many as Priory of the Orange Tree. So we've got the two big ones here, and then these are characters. Oh no, some of those are places, but these are also characters, and these are references, but they're all gods and spirit animals and stuff like that. Important to the story, I assume. And I can't. There's too much going on. I can't deal with it. And I know I could keep going back to the reference guide, but I can't be bothered. I'm not that invested. So I am going to DNF the series, and I made that decision during this vlog. So I did just want to mention it very, very quickly. Thank you to Claire for gifting me this one. I do not particularly like getting rid of my gifted books, but you know, it takes up quite a bit of space, and I will also be on that basis unhauling Lady of Darkness as well, because that's also on my shelves up there. So it gives me a little bit more room on my romantic shelf. So yeah, I will also be unhauling this one. I know this is going to hurt some people, but I just don't care. So, you know, I don't have it in me to continue on with series that I just don't care about. I may try her other series, the Reign of Snow and whatever the hell it's called, Reign of Shadows and Endings, the Legacy series. I may try that, but I wanted to try and get through this series first before I started picking another series up by her. I may try that one, we'll see, but because I have heard fantastic things about that one, but I've also heard fantastic things about this one. So those are some books that I've read and decisions that I've made during this vlog. I hope you have enjoyed it. It's ended up being a lot longer of a vlog as well. I know that before I even filmed this clip, I think it was about an hour and 20 odd minutes. So, you know, we're getting closer to the 2-hour mark because this is currently a 15-minute clip. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Chat to me in the comments down below. And also thank you to the sponsor of this video, who is Serious Readers. My light is over here somewhere. Editing me will zoom in. I just ended up doing my update here. Thank you again to Serious Readers for sponsoring this video. I truly appreciate it. And if you wanted to get £150 off your own Serious Light and free UK shipping, you can do with my code Steph. I will leave all the details in the description box down below. Please do check it out. And if you enjoy these types of videos as well, I know that Gabby Reads does these as well. I've seen loads of other content creators doing them, but more recently, and therefore in my mind, Gabby Reads has done one as well. She's done a handful, I think, but more recently she's definitely done one because I've watched it, which is why it was on my mind. I did just want to mention that as well. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I will see you in whatever comes next. Bye for now.